Pat Summerall with Tom Brookshire at Metropolitan Stadium in Brooklyn, in Bloomington, Minnesota, where Dallas leads 23-10. They're retiring Fran Tarkenton's number. Let's listen.
That's the most worried I've ever seen him.
That's Max Winter, who is the chief of this franchise, who's walking out there with him. There's Francis. Bob Lurch,
ladies and gentlemen,
with him.
The president of the Minnesota Vikings,
Alderman,
Max Winter,
Ed Schrockman, Jerry Reichauer, Ursel McBee, and Bill Brown. Viking players. Here's Max Winter.
Very field 18 years ago, a third-round draft choice out of Georgia came to the Vikings, electrified the entire football world by beating, in the first game the Vikings ever played, Chicago 37-13. Francis Asbury Tarkenton, a man who set most every record in passing in the National Football League so far. At the time he retired, at the top of his game, we know about his scrambling. He probably made as many yards as any quarterback will ever make. He quit while he was on top. And since then, he has devoted his time to charity and has been very successful in his business. All youth is all over the country are wearing on their sweaters number 10. I'm sorry to say, and I'm glad to say, that never again on this field by any Viking will number 10 be on any player's back. And with this, I wish to present to Francis Asbury Tarkenton number 10 to cherish and live with this for the rest of his days.
Shut, baby. Thank you very much, Max. Words don't come easy at a time like this. 18 years ago when I started here, I didn't have a great deal of high goals. I just wanted to be a member of this team and contribute to it for a period of time. At that time, I thought I'd probably play forever. I didn't think anybody ever got old, but I did. And it's done with and over with as of last year. I'm indebted to the people running on this field right now. I'm indebted to the people that stand behind me wearing the purple, because they really were the most responsible for any little success I might have had. I'm indebted to you people who sit in those stands and were back here in 1961, 2, 3, 4, and struggled with us as we tried to build some type of foundation to a football team here, and back then it wasn't easy. And you stayed with us and hung with us, and finally better days came around. I'd like to thank my mother, who's sitting up there, my wife Elaine, who stood by me in times that were tough, my 3 children, Melissa, Matthew, and Angela. They've had to make the biggest sacrifices of all. And thank you all for making this a very special day for me. I'm deeply touched. And Vikings, get it going this second half.
So number 10 is retired, the most prolific, the most durable quarterback in NFL history. He was great.
Introducing the 1980 Mercury Marquis. It's designed so well.
Hi, I'm Drew Pearson of the Dallas Cowboys. I learned a lot about football on a chalkboard, but where you really learn is on the field, making your own decisions. That's what growing up is all about, making decisions. You know, alcohol abuse is a real problem today. Part of the answer is helping young people make the right decisions about whether or not they want to drink. There's a free booklet that can help every teenager make decisions about drinking. Write ECS, Box 687, Denver, 80201. Be a winner.
Hi, I'm Dick Butkus. Just a few years ago, I was the middle linebacker for the Chicago Bears. I love playing pro football, but my biggest thrill came with my election into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I'm very proud to be a part of this up-to-the-minute sports showplace, where the total pro football story is told in many exciting ways. The Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio is open every day of the year except Christmas. I hope you'll visit here soon.
The preceding announcement was brought to you as a public service by the National Football League. Rick Danmeier set to kick off. Ron Springs and Steve Wilson deep for Dallas. Second half about to get underway. The Cowboys lead it 23-10. Danmeier then. Line drive kick will be handled by Wilson. Springs trying to get in front to Brock. Wilson breaks to the outside, breaks a couple of tackles, gets to the 30, perhaps to 31. Steve Wilson on the return. A lot of good athletes down on the field, and a very good athlete here in the booth with us, Martina Navratilova, one of the great Cowboy fans.
Big football fan?
Yeah, I have been, and they announced it yesterday at the matches that I was a Cowboy fan, and I got a few boos from the people here, but I don't think they kind of thought about it when I was playing anymore.
Sure. What about tonight? You got some doubles?
We're in the doubles finals with Billie Jean against Betty Stova and Wendy Turnbull in the Michelob Light Women's Tennis Classic right here at the Met Center.
How about your Cowboys so far?
Well, so far I've been playing pretty good. Those turnovers sure helped us. And,
There's another one.
well, speaking of turnovers.
Roger Staubach on the tackle. Ball is picked up by Jim Marshall on the recovery. Wow.
I think I better get out of here.
You call that one.
Marshall has played every game that the Minnesota Vikings have played since that first team in 70, or in 60. You can see he was knocked out by Matt Blair. Marshall's down to 220 pounds. Still looks pretty active, doesn't he?
Martina, you say you think you better get out of here?
I don't know. I better quit talking anyway.
Okay. We thank you very much for coming by, and good luck to you.
Pat.
Thank you very much.
The best.
Tommy Kramer and the Vikings have a first down at the Dallas 20. And Kramer is going to throw on first down if he stays away from Harvey Martin, and he does. Benny Barnes on the coverage. The intended receiver was Sammy White.
Kramer was 10 for 17 in that first half for 193 yards, but only 33 yards rushing. The Dallas team, on the other hand, had 132 yards rushing, 86 passing, and appeared to be in pretty much control until that turnover just in the fumble.
Dallas anticipating pass. Ricky Young and Robert Miller, the Minnesota backs. Aaron Mitchell is in the game for Dallas. And Dennis Thurman has extra defensive backs. Into the Dallas secondary remains the same. Ricky Young swung wide in motion. The handoff is to Miller. Perhaps some running room. He cuts back inside and is chased down by Bruce Thornton, the rookie defensive end.
Good play by big Ron Yeri, number 73. Offensive right tackle. Stayed on his feet and didn't throw. And it's pretty hard for a guy 6'6" to stay out and stay up.
Again, a passing situation arises. Chuck Foreman checks in, among others, for Minnesota into their offensive unit. Robert Steele, the ex-Dallas Cowboy, is one of those. 23-10.
And Rashad has got to draw a crowd of Dallas Cowboys.
The Vikings have 4 wide receivers to match the Cowboy defense. It's a third down situation with 8 to go. Kramer comes straight back this time and throws. Sammy White. Incomplete. Referee says he was out of bounds. Did not get both feet down. He caught the pass.
I think Sammy thought he was probably in better shape than he was. He glided out of bounds. It's a short out. As Pat said, there were 4 receivers. It's just a quick out to the outside. He gets one down, but doesn't get it obviously out of bounds, and Benny Barnes was watching.
No question about it. He didn't get him down. And so Danmeier again. 1 for 1 from this distance. Paul Krause. Who's been bowling for a long, long time.
A straight ahead kicker.
Straight away. Out of the hole of Krause from 25 yards this time. And plenty good. 23-13. The Cowboy lead is cut to 10. And a lot of time left in Bloomington. Dallas 23. Minnesota 10. Third quarter. Rick Danmeier set to kick off. That sports spectacular will feature some of the best athletes in the world.
Danmeier does not kick it into the end zone. In fact, every kickoff the past year was run back in some form. So will this one be.
Yeah. Wilson at the 5. The wedge forms in the middle of the field. He's trying to get behind it, but nothing doing. The Vikings do an excellent job, led by John Turner. He's the first man to make the hit as Wilson couldn't get behind the wedge.
A young cornerback from down in Miami. He's a good one.
Tom, while we have a moment, the entire world of professional football was saddened by the passing of Bob Peck of the Denver Broncos.
He was the publicity director for the Broncos, and I had known him from the Air Force Academy, but he was really loved, and he loved the game of pro football. You're right, we're really sad.
Dorsett on first down, trying to swing wide to the right and picks up 3 or 4, but that Minnesota defense is fired up. They trail by 10, 23-13.
Right now, you would have to feel the tempo is in purple. The Vikings had the turnover, that big fumble recovery by Marshall, and now they're making it tough on Dorsett. And I'm telling you, they really strung that out. A great job by Hennon, the safety man, making that play. Jim Marshall got in on it, too.
Before that carry, Dorsett had carried 10 times, picked up 59 yards, and scored 2 touchdowns for Dallas. Benny Barnes got the other when he picked up a fumble. Larry Brinson is now the lone back behind Roger Staubach. And Larry gets the call, stumbles momentarily. And Larry Brinson, big, burly running back. In fact, the Cowboys say that he is, among the runners, the best one of the 3 fullbacks.
And maybe the fastest in the whole backfield except for Dorsett.
9,500.
Paul Krause made the tackle in that time, and maybe the Vikes are going to try to do it more. They're lining up in a 34 defense so that Seaman and Studwell are both in the game at the same time as inside linebackers. Let's see if they're still in it.
Brinson bowled for a first down. He's been replaced by Laidlaw. And Dorsett gets another carry. Breaks into the clear, and Tony Dorsett breaks out, almost breaks out of another pack. Gets into Viking territory. Down to the Viking 49. Boy, he can move.
Watch the block by Laidlaw now, right in the center of your screen. He goes on the linebacker. He leads through. It's a fullback lead. Good block right here. You can see that was the one that broke him. And again, 33 doesn't have to turn it on and overcompensate. He is under control at high speed.
27 yards for Tony Dorsett. Looks like he might be headed for another 100-yard day. 23-13, Dallas leads. They're on the move in Viking territory. Brinson now the fullback. Pearson in motion. Brinson gets the call, and Larry Brinson bowls ahead for about 5.
What Roger's saying is if you want to get in that 34, a defense that you're not used to, we'll show you how to break it. We're going to run straight at you with it. Here comes the new back in with the play.
Scott Laidlaw.
And Roger gets it about a few seconds earlier than he would if it was a guard or a tackle.
John Fitzgerald has been shaken up, Tom, and gone to the sideline, replaced by the Cowboys' #1 draft choice of last year.
From Tennessee, young Shaw.
Robert Shaw. Watching what Shaw did. Didn't turn out too well. Here's Dorsett. He is cut down back to the line of scrimmage by Mark Mullaney with the arm tackle.
But Marshall made the play. Number 70 really got outside. middle top of your screen, you'll see number 70. My gosh, he just fights off the block by Donovan, who's got to have him by 55 pounds. Doesn't quite make the tackle, but here comes Mullaney. He mops up beautifully.
Loss of 2 makes it 3rd and 12 in the passing situation. Wonder how well Shaw snaps in the shotgun situation.
I wonder if he'll do it blind or if he'll have to peek.
Got his head up. He'll do it blind. Pearson comes back. Preston.
Oh!
Staubach juggles. Staubach goes down.
Mullaney with that great lateral pursuit. Chased Roger back. And the blind snap. Tough.
Snap that one quite well.
You can watch the blocking now. Of course, they Bradford and company don't realize it's a fumble. And Mullaney does. Roger almost fair caught the snap.
Maybe he should have. You know what? You better hire Martina Navratilova as an analyst. The turnovers are killing us. That's got the Vikings back into the game as Danny White stands in his own end zone. Flag is already down. Oh, White rockets one out of the end zone. Too much time, I think.
That is 4th and 46 or 47 yards to go. Now it's going to be 4th and about 49 yards to go. That's about as much as I've ever seen, I believe, on the field.
4th and 53. You think they'll gamble?
What's the call, right?
I don't believe they'll run a screen pass.
They might even be in a tight punting formation. I wonder if Minnesota's going to come after the ball.
Well, they do very well at blocking kicks and have over the years. Danny White now standing about 6 yards deep in his own end zone. Rafferty is the center, and it's a good snap. This one is not as good a kick. Jimmy Edwards tries to step away, but Thomas Henderson is down in a hurry. He made the tackle. Edwards did not signal for a fair catch, surprisingly. Dallas 23-13 with 9:13 left, third quarter.
Hey, Dad, a ghost town.
Doubleheader games next week. The first game's New Orleans at Tampa Bay. Buccaneers lost their first one today.
Philadelphia, St. Louis, and the Cardinals are a lot better than people think they are.
And so is Philadelphia. San Francisco against New York. Giants won their first one today. And Washington at Cleveland. First and 10. We'll finish running down the schedule in just a second. Tommy Kramer, the quarterback, in Dallas territory at their 46th throws on first down, intended and completed to Sammy White.
Boy, D.D. Lewis was right on his back. Note the aggressive blocking now by the Viking offensive line. They'll block it just about like it's a running play. Here's the bad snap. Notice the young center now looking straight ahead at Duck White, the man over him, and just snaps it 10 yards behind Roger.
I don't think even he knew he snapped it poorly.
Roger, he had some bad days over in Vietnam when he was in the Navy, but nothing like that run, huh?
He didn't have a lot of help back there with him, did he?
Nope.
Now the Vikings have the ball in Dallas territory. 2nd and 6. Kramer throwing on almost every down, this time behind good protection. Caught by Ahmad Rashad, who was really wrecked by Aaron Kyle. But Rashad springs right up. He took a wallop.
Again, we told you about Rashad. Spell his name right. He'll catch it in traffic. Good blocking. Double teaming again on Randy White on the left side of that pocket. Rashad takes it, puts it away, and really gets stuck, but holds on to the ball. Kyle really dug it.
First down, Vikings at the Cowboy 27. This is getting interesting. Again, Kramer. No, this time he brings it back to Ricky Young, and Young may not have gotten back to the line of scrimmage.
For the first time, they're calling the plays. Jerry Burns is upstairs. He sends it down to Bud Grant, and Bud Grant helps young Kramer by calling the plays. Of course, when Fran was here, he pretty much did it at the line of scrimmage, I think,
He sort of ran the offense on his own. Bob Brunig, by the way, made that last tackle, first one to hit him. the year he's having.
Arizona State, he played under Cush, didn't he? Cush turned out some good product. There's Fitzgerald.
He has a cut over his eye, which they have doctored, and with all probability, Fitz will be back. Second 11. Kramer. Oh, gets Sammy White. White still on his feet. Sammy White. What an effort. Touchdown.
Oh. Look at Kramer, number 9. Because Kramer beat the Dallas blitz. Look at number 9, went down and caught the receiver in the end zone. Watch everybody make a move. As the man in motion goes, here comes the blitz. Both outside linebackers. Ball is softly thrown, and from here on, Sammy White shows you why he's one of the great receivers. Takes a good shot by Mitchell. Bounces back to the sidelines, and Cliff Harris is there to only watch him go in. That's a great play.
Tell you, what an effort by Sammy White. Rick Danmeier hits his extra point. And you think back to earlier in this game, look at the run again, when Matt Blair blocked the extra point attempt by Rafael Septien. Dallas leads by 3. Minnesota closing in the touchdown, a 28-yarder from Tommy Kramer to Sammy White.
Sammy White has 6 catches for 94 yards and a big touchdown, his first of the season.
Rick Danmeier kicks it high in the direction of Turner again. Wilson, I'm sorry. Steve Wilson this time does get behind a wedge, but one of the Viking coverage men really collapsed it. Randy Holloway.
Big defensive end for Pittsburgh, ran right through the wedge. Viking defense has really turned on their entire team. Here's Wilson. There's Holloway.
The capacity crowd at Metropolitan Stadium now begins the defense chant. John Fitzgerald is back in the game at center for Dallas. Dorsett and Scott Laidlaw. The running backs and Dorsett chased by Mullaney, gets away from him, and Tony Dorsett. He can turn nothing into quite something very quickly.
It's got to be so frustrating, though, to think you're in the right defense. Watch, it's a misdirection. There's the dive by Laidlaw, and he cuts off a couple of defensive linemen. And now it's simply a race that the Vikings cannot win. He makes it look so easy.
Matt Blair, who made the tackle, Billy Joe Dupree through the block just before Dorsett went down. Pittsburgh now 37-14. Cleveland, Baltimore 10-6 over the Jets. Ron Springs and Larry Brinson, the 2 backs for Dallas. Drew Pearson in motion. Picks up again, and Staubach has no place to go. James White led the charge.
And Mullaney made the first penetration by the defensive Vikings. And right now, all of that time and possession of ball by Dallas was in the first half. They haven't kept the ball at all in this second half. Duck White makes the final tackle there.
You thought about the fact that neither Dallas wide receiver, neither Drew Pearson nor Tony Hill has caught a pass?
All been the backs, huh?
All been the backs. Well, Billy Joe Dupree has 1. Second 14. Laidlaw in motion wide to the left. Staubach comes straight back this time. And again, it's Ron Springs this time in the grasp of number 59. Matt Blair.
And you're right, it's a turned-on defense. Watch number 59. He'll come to the left of your screen. Here's Mullaney working on the offensive tackle. Great play by Blair. And we told you the linebackers are as good as there are around. As a unit, they are better than a lot.
Dallas now goes with 3 wide receivers as Butch Johnson is checked in. And so has Drew Pearson, Preston Pearson. Drew is already in there.
Fitzgerald will make the snap without a problem, huh?
Again, he doesn't look. Again, this is perfect for Fitz. Protection is overwhelming. Ron Springs finally is taken down though before he can go too far. Mark Mullaney hustled back. And the defense for Minnesota holds, and Danny White comes on again.
Tony Dorsett hurt his wrist last time he was involved in the play, and he is on the sidelines right now.
20. Dallas leads Minnesota. It looked like a Dallas runaway early in the second quarter, but the Vikings have come running back.
A lot of Dallas players were talking and none of them going off the field. Like what's happened.
Jimmy Edwards deep for Minnesota. They're going to try to block it. They do not get it, and White again really nails it. Edwards signals for the fair catch. Doesn't make it. And the Cowboys will down it at about the 14-yard line. Oh, but Minnesota fired up now. Bud Grant looks on very calmly. He's about the only one on the Viking side that is. Dallas by 3.
This Bud's for everyone is in the lightning speed and thunder.
This Bud's for you. For all you do, the king of beers is coming through.
Miss Budweiser, 3,000 horses coming at you, together with the clean, crisp taste of the king of beers.
For all you do.
This Bud's for you.
Motorcraft battery, it's all right. Saved my life one dreadful night when I
didn't know if we're televising the tournament or not. You know, I didn't know we're not open. Wow.
Tonight on CBS, 60 Minutes. Archie Bunker's plays one day at a time. Alice, the Jeffersons, and Trapper John. Now, what about 60 Minutes?
That's that James Bond type thing about how dangerous the communist agents are, huh?
We'll tell you more about that in just a sec. Right now, it's Viking first down. Their own 14, and the reverse is to Ricky Young. With a blocker in front, Randy Hughes tries to play him off. Brunig finally makes the tackle. Middle linebacker was not fooled. There's Tony Dorsett on the sideline. I would assume he'll be back. That 60 Minutes is a real live whodunit, by the way. Right out of the pages of James Bond. This one involves communist agents. Murder with a poisoned umbrella.
A poisoned umbrella?
Broad daylight in the heart of London. That sounds interesting. 60 Minutes.
Dorsett's just under 100 yards rushing, 98, and he's got a bruised thumb. And I imagine will return and carry on.
Second down. And reverse that 7 yards. Here's Chuck Foreman. And Foreman running like, hey, the Foreman of old. Stopped by Cliff Harris, but Minnesota picked up the first down.
That looked like Foreman running about 5 different directions at once. A very hard guy to tackle in the past. Randy White runs around the block a little bit. Let's see where they... Looks to me like number 67, Swilly, the offensive center, got a good block on the linebacker.
Outside the 30. At the 31, first and 10. Pittsburgh 37, Cleveland 21. Browns just scored on a touchdown pass from Brian Sight to Galvin Hill. 2:30 left. Ooh, there is the Dallas defense showing its authority. Randy White stopped Chuck Foreman.
There's the flex. The flex this time is on the weak side. The weak side flex. You can see Harvey Martin and company, and Stalls that time went under, and Brunig went over the top. Your middle linebacker should make probably 60 to 70% of the tackles in that flex. Huh?
You realize Dallas has only had 3 middle linebackers in the history of that franchise. First one's on the coaching staff now, Jerry Tubbs. The second one, of course, was Leroy Jordan. And now Bob Brunig.
Quite a tradition, huh?
Kramer rolled out right, looking for a place to go. Got away from one, and finally smothered by Dave Stalls. Harvey Martin and Larry Cole forced him to make that move.
Young Tommy Kramer is still hot about it. There's Stalls from northern Colorado. Let's see how Stalls makes the move. It'll come from the left of your screen. 65. Pretty good battle. Young Kramer now gets out there. Just too good a coverage by the secondary. And he can't quite do that like number 10. Not yet. He doesn't tiptoe as well as Fran used to.
He doesn't have eyes in the back of his head yet. 28-10, L.A. over New Orleans now. Minnesota back in that setup when they have 4 wide receivers, so to speak, in the game. They run a draw play. Ricky Young breaks a couple of tackles. I beg your pardon. It was Robert Miller, not Ricky Young. Dallas saying we recovered what happened.
They did.
And they're right. Fumble that we didn't see at the bottom of that pile, and look who's the last to get up.
Crash Harris, and he tried to throw it back into the Minnesota huddle. A good play. Let's watch the blocking. Swilly goes over and blocks. Pretty good move and a good tackle up there. It looked like Hughes might have been the one that caused it underneath the pile.
Right. Got his arm in there and raked it loose. And Harris made the recovery. There's Cliff, who has a history of making big plays. Dallas has the football at the Minnesota 31. With a chance to add to their lead, which at one time was commanding, but no longer is. Jay Saldi goes in motion to the left. The handoff is to Dorsett. Tony gets around the outside, and he'll go all the way. Tony Dorsett, his third touchdown of the day, 31 yards away.
Bad thumb doesn't bother him. And you know the defense made a pretty good initial move on that play. Tight end came out in motion. They ran to the tight end side. He's already gone by to the left. Watch the penetration by the people on defense.
Herbert Scott out in front.
Well, good block on the outside.
And did Dorsett ever set up that block?
I believe that was Pearson. I believe that was Drew Pearson on the outside.
He got the first block. Herbert Scott got the second one. Dorsett did the rest.
3 touchdowns and 127 yards for Tony D.
29-20. Dallas up. Rafael Septien trying to make it 30-20. Good. There was some doubt for a minute. He didn't hit it very well. Here's the touchdown run again.
You're right behind the Seaman, the middle linebacker. Looks like they almost have him, but the speed, and again, it's all with control. He sort of turns it on here, but it was sort of a 3/4 glide. I guess he's conserving energy like everybody else.
He's so deceptive, you know, when he changes speeds. You think he's going all out, and all of a sudden he's got another gear.
But the Vikings did get their attention.
They've still got it. 60 minutes immediately following football. Tony Dorsett, 3 touchdowns. He had none going into this game. Now he's got 3. And how many yards did you say?
127 on 14 carries. And he's been stuck a few times, too.
Yes. 30-20. Dallas leads as the discussion goes on with Rafael Septien.
By the way, Rafael's father was one of the great soccer players in Mexican history down there. He was on their world-class soccer team.
He's a fine athlete.
Sure is.
Bought a house from Randy Hughes. I don't know if that makes him a fine athlete or not.
You better not find water in his basement, huh?
That's right. Here's Robert Miller with some room. Short kick by Septien. Out to the 40, so the Vikings again have a pretty good spot from which to operate. Next week, the first game's on CBS. New Orleans, Tampa Bay, Philadelphia, St. Louis, San Francisco against the New York Giants, Washington at Cleveland. And the doubleheader games would be Atlanta at Oakland. That shapes up to be a big one. And Detroit at Green Bay.
We're going to be in Oakland for that one. And for some reason, the interconference games are a little extra. They pump a little life into it, don't they?
We haven't been to Oakland in a long time. What have been ready for us?
I doubt it.
Kramer on first down. Has to run. Over the line of scrimmage down, perhaps. Intended for Rashad. He might have cut it loose just before he stepped over.
There's no flag. There's no flag, but he did cross the line of scrimmage and got away with the pass. That's usually loss of down. But they didn't drop a flag on it.
A discussion going on to that effect.
Look how long the legs are on Rashad. I always thought that he's like 6'2", but he's got the legs of somebody like 6'7".
Sometimes it's hard to figure out when an athlete is that good as Rashad is, and he bounces around to 4 different teams, and all of a sudden it all comes together as it has for him here in Minnesota. Denver 7-0. Young in motion. Kramer drops. This time he has a little more time. Tom Landry looking on as the pass was complete to Chuck Foreman.
Kramer gets through making the passes. You can see there is concern, always concern, but pretty emotional about it. Young Kramer runs down and is almost the one helping the receiver up after a pass. And that time Randy White came very close to smothering him.
3rd and 2. And the extra Dallas deep defenders come in. Aaron Mitchell and Dennis Thurman. It's nickel time. Still have 4 down linemen. Make the trap. They throw, and Bob Tucker should have the first down. He does. Tackled by Randy Hughes, but he struggled just barely for enough. That's the end of the 3rd quarter with the score. Dallas 30, Minnesota 20. We now pause for a word from your local station.
Boise.
Attendance today, 47,572. No empty seats at the Met.
Young Kramer, by the way, has pretty good stats, too. You can see Tony Dorsett's. But young Kramer is 15 of 25 for 140 yards and is moving pretty well against a tough defense.
Tommy Kramer fires deep for Sammy White, and he had him. If he had let him upfield instead of throwing it out of bounds, he had 6.
Out and up by Sammy White. Sammy doesn't have the overpowering speed, but a lot of people say that he runs up on you and then suddenly he can get an edge and hold it. He's a very smooth gliding runner and a great pass receiver.
Dennis Thurman and Aaron Mitchell check into the Dallas secondary again. Bruning and D.D. Lewis go out, the 2 linebackers. They leave Thomas Henderson in.
You think a blitz on 2nd down and a dime?
We got Mitchell up close to the line and Henderson standing right in the middle. A blitz is entirely possible. They run instead. Chuck Foreman struggles for a couple. Henderson involved with the tackle along with Dave Stahl.
Dallas is blitzing more this year from their regular formations. From the 3rd down, the nickel defense, they always blitzed a lot, but they're blitzing a lot now from the basic 4-3 and even from the flex, which is a sort of a departure for Stautner's group on defense.
Stalls goes out, and Larry Bethea is about to see his first action of the day. 3rd and 7, Tom Landry with his notes under his arm. Thornton is the nearest Dallas defender. And Thornton is the man who makes the tackle. 3rd sack for Dallas, Bruce Thornton.
It's the 4th sack by the rookie from Illinois. Boy, somehow the Dallas computer figured it out, number 77. The Illini didn't win too many games, but this guy was the best rusher in the Big Ten, pass rusher. He took the inside on a stunt. Somehow they scraped off the offensive tackle, which was Yerry.
Coleman, number 8, lines 1. And this is Steve Wilson, who has some time to return it this time, but has no place to go. Penalty flag back up the field. See what happened. Indicate that somebody might have gone downfield a little bit early. Chuck Heberling, the referee.
It was dropped very early. It was dropped even before the Coleman kick, so it wasn't blocking or roughing the kicker.
Looks like Dallas is going to refuse it. Bruce Huther, captain of the special teams, discussing it. And now we'll get the call.
Number 56, illegally down the field on the kicking team, refused. First down.
Tomas Henderson?
Dave Huffman.
Oh, Huffman.
Here's the punt. And down he goes.
Never laid a glove on him either.
Never touched him. 13:54 left in this contest, and Dallas leads by 10 points. Tomorrow night on CBS, White Shadow, followed by Madge and Radar saying goodbye. And then be sure not to miss the 13th Annual Country Music Association Awards with the host, Kenny Rogers, all on CBS tomorrow night. Roger Staubach is still the quarterback. Hands off on a reverse to Billy Joe Dupree, and he's got some room. Billy Joe still on his feet, spins. Dallas first down yardage out near midfield down to the 47. Brett McNeil made the tackle.
Great ball handling by Staubach. He fakes the Laidlaw so well going up the middle. Watch this fake, and watch the Minnesota defense freeze. They all, now the reverse is on the outside by the tight end. A good block coming back. It must have been Drew Pearson. The outside receivers, Tony Hill and Drew Pearson, have not caught a pass yet. Looks like Jimmy Carr's defensive secondary doing a pretty good job.
They cut down Randy Holloway. That was the key block. Halftime score you just saw. Here's Dorsett being caught from behind this time. See that happen very often. That's Randy Holloway. Jeff Seaman also.
There's young Kramer on the bench. He's been facing the barren waste, boy, going against that Dallas defense. It's tough for a young quarterback, and he's fared very well. He looks extremely poised, doesn't he?
He does. Of course, he spent his collegiate career in a strictly passing offense at Rice. Pittsburgh 44-21. Rocky Blyers just scored for the Steelers. Steelers must be angry at somebody. 2nd and 13. Pass rush is adequate. Billy Joe Dupree dives, but can't get it. Covered by Jeff Seaman, but he was open.
Roger Staubach had a lot of time. The pocket let him really wait for the big tight end to clear. Again, the linebackers are kicking to the outside, helping on those dangerous outside receivers, so he's been using his backs. Dorsett's caught 5 passes. But everybody in Dallas is having to work hard today.
Ernie Starkner is making sure that that's the truth. And his defense gathered around him. 3rd and 13 as Butch Johnson is in the game. Tony Hill and Drew Pearson split wide to the right. And Butch Johnson comes wide to the left. Shotgun formation. Here comes Preston Pearson back next to Staubach, and he stays momentarily in the block, and now he goes out.
Oh.
Deep for Tony Hill. Got it. Had it. Dropped it. Tommy Hannon on the coverage. Look at Tony Hill.
The most dangerous receiver that Dallas has after he catches it didn't catch it. And Hannon showed up late. The ball should have been put away. And I don't know if you could throw any better for the shotgun and hit the inside receiver clearing straight up. Must have cut in and then turned it straight up. Good pass protection. You just can't drop it over the shoulder any better than that.
Perfect throw. Here is Danny White. And again, a high kick from Danny. Edwards signals for a fair catch. Dallas 30-20. We get 60 minutes on after football. 12:09 left to play.
Yep.
1st and 10 Vikings at their own 25. Dallas leads 30-20. They retired number 10, Fran Tarkenton's jersey, in halftime ceremonies here today. The only Viking shirt to be retired. Francis is with us, and we're going to be talking to him in just a minute. 1st and 10, Tommy Kramer, his successor. Throws high to Sammy White, off his fingertips.
You split that zone a few times, didn't you, Fran, that way?
Well, we tried. You know, with receivers like Rashad and White, you got a lot going for you, and both of them have played well today and have all year. But this is a tremendous football game. The Vikings have come back the second half, I think, with a lot of emotion, a lot of spirit, and made a game out of it, and it's still in the balance.
Which is the most competitive, football or television?
I don't know. I think down there it probably is, Ricky, as you know. That's tough down there.
2nd down. What do you think of Tommy Kramer?
I think he's playing very well today. A very good controlled game.
Like his future.
I really do. He's got Sammy. He's got Sammy.
Got him open. And he's got it.
Does he ever have Sammy?
You know, I believe that head talk you gave him at the half must have helped.
I don't know, but you know, Sammy's kind of taking the back seat. You'll see the play here again. You'll see Sammy come over from the left, and watch the free safety. He's gone with the role of Kramer, and Tommy puts the ball in here in good shape. He had to keep it low. If he doesn't keep it low, it's intercepted.
Now, Kramer sort of shortened up his strides running around the pocket. Do you think he studied your films and picked that up?
I don't know, but any quarterback's got to have quick feet and short, choppy steps back there, and he does. And
a lion's heart?
Yeah, they got something going here, looks like.
1st down, Dallas 38. 2 points. starts in motion to the left. Kramer again drops. In the direction of Chuck Foreman.
Are you surprised at Chuck Foreman's performance this year?
Well, Chuck's a great player. You've got to use Chuck out of the backfield as a pass receiver to make you most effective. And they haven't really gotten the ball to him a lot, but they've gotten the ball down the field a lot to Rashad. But Chuck's a tremendous athlete coming out of the backfield, and you really need to get the ball to him more than they have this year, I think, to fully utilize the great abilities that he has, because he can run with the ball, as both of you know, once he gets it. I think they've got to come back and throw again here.
Dallas thinks so because they've got the extra defensive backs in. Mitchell and Thurman.
They got Thornton in, too, the big defensive left end.
He was a factor the last time. They do the same stunt, but this time the Vikings almost pick it up, and they do. They intended for Rashad, who is saying he's being interfered with, but no flag.
That's good defensive play.
Benny Barnes can be in the closest, tightest plays of any defensive back I've ever seen.
Watch Tommy here move around, Brookie. I think he made a pretty good move here. You don't need to move much back there, but he got a little pressure off to his right, comes back to the left. Good play, got position to throw. Now set your feet, good. Can't ask me to do any more. Threw a little bit behind him, but I don't think he had anywhere to throw at that time.
They're rushing the football a little bit more than you probably did, Fran, right?
Well, you know, their offensive line, they feel, has played really well for them this year, and they're coming off the ball good in there, but they're not rushing much today.
3rd and 10. Classic situation, and Tommy Kramer wants a timeout. Fran, I know you're not supposed to work on Sunday afternoon. You work on Monday night. Thank you so much, and good luck in whatever endeavor might come your way.
Thank you, Patrick. I've always enjoyed you, and Brookie, you do a great job, and thank you very much. Good visiting with you.
How does it feel to get in a few words sideways up here with us, all right?
That's nice. I'm finally an expert after all these years.
Congratulations.
Good luck, Fran.
Thank you, Brookie.
Thank you so much. Tommy Kramer over talking with Bud Grant, and the man leaving our booth spent a lot of time talking to Bud Grant, Fran's Arkansas. Nobody did it better. That Summerall with Tom Brookshire with 11:05 left to play in this contest. Dallas leads 30-20 at 3rd and 10. Minnesota at the Cowboys 38.
Sammy White's caught 7 for 131 yards.
Sammy White comes in motion. Tommy Kramer goes back. Blitz is on by Henderson. He misses him. But Thornton takes him down. The rookie on the good recovery.
Thornton is really all over the place, but a good movement in the pocket by Kramer. This is what Fran was talking about. The young quarterback is beginning to put it together. There's the delayed blitz by Henderson. Look at this battle by Thornton. 216, he lays out and makes the tackle. Sammy White may have been open down the post.
You know, there are not many linebackers in this league or in football anywhere fast enough to blitz in a delay like Henderson does it. Coleman into the end zone. Coleman went down again at midfield, making believe he was rough. Watch it.
He had 3 inside the 20-yard line last week. He's going through all kinds of gyrations.
Mike Hegman was number 58 of that. 60 minutes. FB White was being attended to on the sideline a minute ago, but it looks like there is no problem with him. I don't think it's possible to hurt him. 1st and 10, Cowboys at their own 20. Dorsett and Laidlaw, and Dorsett takes the handoff. Flag is down. Holding is going to be called against Jay Salvey, I think, or Donovan maybe. That's all right.
Might have even been a crackback block. It looked to me like Holloway sort of flopped over on his back very quickly. And those are good rules that they've written into the NFL rule book. Take that crackback away, and there are a lot of knee surgery jobs prohibited every year that used to put people out of action and back on the street.
But you know, I can remember back when we were playing, if you had a knee operation, you might have been through for forever.
Yeah.
Holding, offense, number 57, first down.
Was called on Donovan.
It was a knee first and then psychotherapy later because it would drive you crazy trying to get a knee to come back.
Just about when you forget about it. Now they do marvelous work. 1st and 10, 1st and 20 after that penalty. Staubach gives on the draw play to Preston Pearson. Just saw the 6 flash for a minute.
Preston Pearson, the ball carrier, and another tackle.
Goes hand in. Cleveland is still playing against Pittsburgh. That score remains the same. Pittsburgh 44, Cleveland 28. Washington lost to Philadelphia today, 28-17, and Dick Vermeil has done one outstanding job with the Eagles.
With hard work, there is no substitute for it. Young Hannon, by the way, is out of Michigan State in his 3rd year. He is just right at 192 pounds, not quite 6 feet tall, and has really battled to make this team. The last couple of years he was in there and suffered. People picked on him, and he's under his own power, but he needs the help right now.
Nate Wright moves into the backfield and moves out onto the corner. Keith Nord has taken Tommy Hannon's place at 2nd and 9. Staubach throws down the middle to Billy Joe Dupree, who's wide open. Billy Joe out near the 50-yard line.
Roughing the passer, too, on Staubach. I think Dave Roller came through late and really stuck it to Roger.
Tommy Hannon on the sideline. It didn't take Roger to go right to work on Keith Nord, did it?
Before you get loose and warm, the new guy gets tested.
He replaced Hannon. This penalty will be tacked on at the end of the game.
Take a look now. You'll see that Pearson stepped up and took the blitzer. He may not be able to show it. There's the good catch by Dupree, who had good downfield depth and distance. He must have been 19, 20 yards in the line of scrimmage.
At least.
Unnecessary roughness, roughing the passer, number 60.
I forgot who it was.
It's Dave Roller.
70's looking for his number now.
And Roller's trying to hide it.
We don't want to make any mistakes on who it is.
Defense, first down. 76 defense, first down.
It was Dave Roller, 76 in the defense. Ex-Giant, ex-Packer. Enthusiastic. At the Minnesota 36, Dallas first down. Drew Pearson faked in motion. Staubach faked to Dorsett. Tony Hill can't hang on. Oh, yeah, he juggled it and then dropped it.
That would have been a fantastic catch. He tried to get control of it quickly and get the feet down, but he was really under a full head of steam. The blitz now by Studwell doesn't get there. Picked up beautifully by Dallas. This ball is right on, but this one would have been almost an impossible catch.
He was juggling as he went out of the end zone, so it would not have been complete anyway, and then he dropped it. John Turner was the Viking defender.
There's Hannon walking around. He's trying to find out what the score is, and I'm not laughing at him, but I went through that a lot where you thought it was the first quarter and it's almost over. You know?
It's the fourth, and it's 30-20. He'll find out. 2nd and 10, the handoff is to Dorsett, who's looking for a hole. Breaks a couple of tacklers, and they finally get him down after he picks up a couple of yards. Fred McNeil, number 54. Danny White loosening on the sideline. Perhaps he'll play the next series.
You know, we've done this before about his father, but it was Wilford Wizard White, the Arizona State All-American, sort of in our era in the 50s. That was his father, not the Supreme Court judge, Byron Wizard White. That's enough to confuse everybody, including Danny, I think, but
fine baseball player is Danny White as well, or was. Tommy Hannon is back in the game, number 45, who was knocked around a minute ago in that helmet collision. Here's Staubach operating from the shotgun. Throwing. He'll have a first down. Matt Blair, the tackler, and I'm not sure who caught the pass yet.
No quarterback on this side of Fran could look away and ad-lib better than their number 12. Watch Staubach looking deep, looks one way. Now the ad-lib parts from now on. His deep receivers are covered. Watch him move a little bit and then find that second or third receiver. And, of course, it's Pearson.
Preston, that is. And still, neither Tony Hill or Drew Pearson have caught a pass. Neither one of his fine wide receivers. And they both have caught at least 3, I believe, in each game so far. Here's Dorsett. Inside the 20 to about the 18. Staubach is 13 out of 19 for how much?
For 135 yards, which is a rather conservative day for him, but I think he would settle for it. Young Kramer, meanwhile.
It'll be 2nd and 5 as we check what Kramer is.
16 of 30 for 189 yards. And, of course, the great Sammy White touchdown catch.
Tony Dorsett has scored 3 touchdowns on the ground for Dallas. Benny Barnes got the other one. He picked up a fumble. Here comes Dorsett in motion. Second down. Brinson will get the carry. And Brinson will not get anything. Fumble. And Minnesota has it. Not Studwell. Brinson is down.
That's the second fumble lost. The Cowboys came in with 9 fumbles, and 8 of them they lost, so that's 10 fumbles they've turned over. Really hit by Holloway, the big Pittsburgh University All-American of a couple of years ago.
That is Larry Brinson. And now the Cowboys really, as you think about this, if this is serious, are down to 1 fullback. Brinson is off, and this is another injured Cowboy. Brinson appears to be okay, except for his concern about that fumble. The NBA, don't forget, starts on CBS Friday night at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Time. The Los Angeles Lakers against the San Diego Clippers.
Lakers with a new coach, Jack McKinney.
Right.
Same center, pretty good player. It's Fitzgerald again.
John Fitzgerald's had a tough day. He was taken out once before.
Almost a TKO. We only say that because Fitz is the kind of guy that plays with most injuries that put guys in the sidelines. He plays every game like that. He's such a tape up and do the job attitude person. He's having to leave again. I couldn't see where he got it in there.
I don't know if we have the 2 knockdown rule or not, do we?
That's right. Standing 8 count for Fitz. Let's see.
Seattle 28, San Francisco 10. First and 10 for Minnesota Vikings. 7:13 left to play as Tommy Kramer again drops the pass and throws complete to Rashad. Aaron Mitchell on the coverage and tackle.
Interesting philosophy among the Minnesota players now. They give Rashad the ability to run anywhere he wants to on this sprint out type play and find his own opening. If it's up or if it's a deep sidelines, he can change it in the middle, and the quarterback with a sprint out just reads what he does and tries to react to it. Rashad decided to run the deep sideline. He is some receiver.
That takes a pretty good quarterback to be able to do that. Roger Staubach warming up with Robert Shaw, the center. How about this contest? Cleveland just scored again. They have just over 3 minutes left in that 44-35 screen pass. Ricky Young gets away from a couple of tacklers. Aaron Kyle and D.D. Lewis finally stopped him.
You don't see Brunig miss many tackles. Watch number 53 get a real good shot at Ricky Young, the fullback, number 34. Here's the fake. The screen is forming to the left. Watch number 53 come in. He beats the blocker and just misses. Now Ricky Young continues, and Kramer is now 18 of 32 for 202.
That's the final score. Denver beat San Diego 7-0 on a run by Norris Weeks, quarterback.
Hard to beat the Broncos at Mile High Stadium.
It certainly is. That'll tie them for first place with San Diego as Kramer throws back across the field. The shot couldn't quite hold on as Aaron Kyle tried for the interception and just knocked it loose.
Kyle starts running about 10 yards away and thinks he has the INT. Here's Fitzgerald. He went to Ernie Stautner's old school, Boston College. That's how they got a line on him. Was a defensive lineman, has become one of the great offensive centers.
Been down twice today. He may be looking for another sport. Third down. 10 yards to go. 5.5 minutes left to play. Dallas 30-20 at the moment.
3 sacks on young Kramer.
From their own 31, Minnesota operates again. Dallas does the studding up front. Ricky Young makes a one-handed grab. It's finally knocked loose and called incomplete.
Boy, that Harris.
Crunch.
Harris having a fight with Kramer, the quarterback. Crash Harris came across and made that contact right as the receiver was trying to put it away.
Coleman again in to punt for Minnesota. He might have ideas about throwing it or running it with time running out now. And Dallas owning a 10-point lead.
He's been trying a little bit of everything.
This time he catches it. Steve Wilson chased all the way back to his own 16. Looking for a place to go and almost getting around the corner before he's knocked out of bounds by Scott Studwell. A 52-yard punt. One of the Vikings is now down.
I believe that's Matt Blair, the linebacker from Iowa State.
Sports Spectacular next week features the Pacific Invitational Gymnastics Championships, the World's Strongest Men competition.
What are we doing this week on the World's Strongest Men?
You have the wheelbarrow race, the girl lift.
The girl lift, you'll love that one. That is really a different event.
Well, you've also got a special event in addition to a different event. What's the special? You probably can't tell me that.
No, I can't.
What is the girl lift? You can't tell me that.
It's about 7 girls, so it's like over 1,000 pounds. But these big, strong guys push them up.
All at once?
Yeah, if they can.
7 girls. Tommy Kramer in conference with Jerry Burns in all probability, who's up on the level we are in the press box calling plays down. But right now, Roger Staubach, still the Dallas quarterback, has Larry Brinson. I beg your pardon. It's Scott Laidlaw and Tony Dorsett. It's Laidlaw with the ball. Fumble! And Dallas got it back.
There's one niche in the armor, not being able to hold on to the football. We've seen that happen in Cleveland. We've seen it happen against the Chicago Bears. We've seen it happen today, really.
Dallas has fumbled 5 times and lost 2. I've been corrected from our producer, Bob Stinner, about some misinformation that we got on the Cleveland-Pittsburgh game. Steelers lead at 44-35. That was correct. But there are about 8 minutes left instead of 3. So the Browns have put on some sparkling comeback.
Hey, John Fitzgerald's back at center.
Another screen pass. Or try to. Laidlaw sees it bounce by him.
The Vikings have their #1 draft choices, Mulaney, Holloway, and they are beginning to be fine young defensive linemen. There's Duck White come up the middle. See Holloway making him throw it over too high and can't get the Laidlaw reception on that. Screen was pretty well set up, too.
Duck White is another one who has started to develop. It'll be 3rd and 9 for Dallas.
See, this team lost Fran Tarkenton, Mick Tingelhoff, Carl Eller all in one season. So they're a young team coming around now.
Fourth quarter score, 28-17. The Rams over New Orleans. Dorsett and Brinson now, and this is Dorsett behind Brinson. Dorsett cuts back inside, breaks a couple of tackles, and gets enough for a Dallas first down. He looks almost unstoppable today.
As long as he is set up to take the tackle, he doesn't look like he's in danger of fumbling it. It's when he's just about to break for one of those long ones that he sort of swings the arm out a little bit. But that time he was in perfect control and looked very strong as he ran through a couple. What does that say? CBS, I read that, but...
From Killer and Kim.
Where's the DA range?
I don't know. Dorsett, 18 carries for 143 yards. Salvi goes in motion. Dorsett now in motion. And Dorsett down in the arms of Big Mark Mulaney.
Good play by Matt Blair, number 59. He came across and peeled some interference down and sort of fouled up the flow. You're right behind Roger. The snap, the old power sweep. Look at this. That's all disturbed. Here comes Mulaney. Tell you, he is really agile for a guy 6'6", 255.
He is huge. I saw him walking through the lobby of the hotel last night.
The trouble is, they're such nice guys, too. You know,
I wanted to speak to him, but I was afraid. 2nd and 12. All back. Blitz on. Billy Joe Dupree had it and dropped it. Staubach faked Jeff Seaman. Well, Jeff Seaman back on the coverage. He faked one of the Minnesota rushers.
Let's see what happens. Dupree doesn't drop many passes. You can see the big rush and the blitz by Blair. But good throw, actually behind Dupree a little bit, and looked like he just hit him on the forearm instead of the hands. And how can you miss the hands? You know, they look like two suitors.
Third down. 13 to go. 3 minutes exactly left to play. Clock stopped at the moment. Dallas leading by 10, 30 to 20. Pat Summerall with Tom Brookshire in Bloomington, Minnesota. From the shotgun, and the snap is good. So is the protection. Drew Pearson, his first one of the day, perfectly thrown from Staubach, lofted over the linebacker in front of Turner, and the first pass caught by a wide receiver for Dallas today.
And a dangerous throw by Roger, but well done. Look at the time he has from the shotgun to wait for Drew Pearson to run a deep inside pattern and then break it back to the sideline a long way. That had to be a 3.5-second pattern. Well done.
First down for Dallas at the Minnesota 46. They'll just try to keep the ball now. Run the rest of the time out. Just saw how much is left. Dorsett lines up now behind Laidlaw. And Tony gets the carry. Right straight ahead to about the 43. Harvey Martin over on the sideline with Dave Stalls, and there's Randy White.
Which one of the Cowboys that doesn't have his own radio or television show? Doesn't everybody on the team just about has their own show?
I don't think Randy White does.
Harvey Martin has one, and Henderson has one that they play Hooray for Hollywood as the intro music, right?
Right.
Drive Time Doug, the PR man, has one. Doug Todd.
Drive Time Doug is some man.
Tex Schramm.
Doug Todd, that is.
Yes. Tex Schramm has his own show, right?
Landry has one.
Landry has one.
He and Frank Gleber pick the games every week. I don't know who's winning that contest. Here's Brinson breaking tackles. And Brinson near a first down for Dallas. Some of the crowd, in fact, many of the crowd now starting to file out. 2 minutes left to play. Dallas will go to 5-1. It would appear, and be tied with Philadelphia for the NFC East lead. 2 minutes left to play. The Rams 35-17 over New Orleans now. Los Angeles would up its record to 4-2. Atlanta's already won. They are 3-3. They'll be out in Oakland next week.
When Dallas and the Eagles, my old team, get together, that's going to be a couple of good shootouts. And that's a little later on in the year that they have a confrontation.
Cowboys got to play each other twice.
The Vikings 36.
Minnesota has the New York Jets next week. Staubach gives to Laidlaw. Laidlaw plunging straight ahead, protecting the football now. The Rams will be at Dallas next week. There are no weak sisters on the Dallas schedule.
There's just no team in the NFL now you can take for granted. If Tampa did that with the Giants, you know, they're eating at the drive-in tonight. You've got to prepare every Sunday like it's the last game of the season.
Everybody was saying that Tampa Bay had such an easy schedule from here on in. They'd won the 5 straight and beat some people they weren't supposed to beat. And now they up and lose to the Giants. Here's Tony Hill. His first pass reception of the day. Still on his feet, still running. Matt Blair finally gets him out of bounds. A minute and 12 seconds left to play.
You want to see some good wheels on a receiver? Watch number 80 run with this. Good call by Roger. Fakes inside, just lobs it. Just get it to number 80 and try to get out of his way. A high stepper from Stanford. And he's working now on his upper body strength, doing a lot of Nautilus action and all. And Paul Krause just got spun off of him. Now one of the big fellows comes along and swats him down.
By the way, that was Jim Cooper who got out there in front of him and threw that key block.
Jim's doing a good job at that tackle. He's played center, guard, left side, right side.
And he's found a home now. And right offensive tackle. 4 Irishmen in that offensive line. There's Laidlaw cutting back inside to about the 11. Tommy Hannon made the tackle. Clock continues to run with a minute Exactly a minute left to play, and the Vikings call a timeout. Minnesota has one timeout remaining. They'll probably call it after this play. Here's Dorsett cutting back to the inside. Doug Sutherland made the tackle, and the clock continues to run. Minnesota takes another timeout, and that's all they've got.
Got to be very careful, though, not to embarrass the defensive players that are on the field. When you have a victory in hand, but points mean something later on should it come to a coin toss. But that defensive team, they're yelling out things like, okay, you guys, don't worry. One of these days it'll be on the other foot. You got to be very careful.
We're going to play again someday.
That's right.
Broadcast directed by Sandy Grossman. Associate producers Clarence Anderson. All of those guys, of course, do such a terrific job.
Bob Stenner brought us our health food dinner last night.
And he's been the producer today.
Lychee nuts and whole grain cereals.
That's what you had?
Yep.
I'm glad I was at the other end of the table.
How come it costs $1,000, right? Wouldn't you think that Roger might want to rest a few minutes of a quarter or something and think about his family or something, just go over and sit down, but he just likes to stay right on?
Oh, he said he thought about his family when he was in training camp. Final score, we just got Baltimore got their first victory today. They beat the New York Jets 10-8. Starting to get rid of the padding already. That was D.D. Lewis. And there might be 2 more plays. There might even be a touchdown. There he is from Preston Pearson. Cowboys have gotten 4 rushing touchdowns today. 3 from Dorsett, and now 1 from Pearson. Watch it. Good run for Preston. He's run hard today.
First touchdown rushing for Pearson. Here's a fella that didn't even play collegiate football. Illinois was a good baseline jump shooter. All Big Ten. Makes a pretty good football player, doesn't he?
Clutch pass receiver. Who will ever forget that performance against the Rams a few years back in the championship game? Rafael Septien will try to make it Dallas 37-20. And does not. That kick would not have been good anyway. He kicked it low. Matt Blair plugged it, but it wouldn't have gotten high enough to get over the crossbar anyway. Los Angeles 35, New Orleans 17. Last touchdown from Pat Hayden to Ron Jesse, and we'd like to welcome those of you who saw that Ram victory to Metropolitan Stadium in Bloomington, Minnesota. Pat Summerall with Tom Brookshire, and the score here is 36-20.
There's Harvey Martin now. He's trying to bring Fitzgerald, who's been KO'd at least twice, bring him up to date on what time the charter leaves. Things like that, right?
That score we had on the screen just then was incorrect. It is 36-20, by the way. There it is. Had some problems with the score today. I had it wrong once. Scoreboard had it wrong once.
Well, there have been a few blocked chip shots, as they say, and a few things like that. Your kickers have made it very difficult.
No. Kickers will tell you, any kicker will tell you, there is no such thing as a chip shot. There's a foot shot there. The Vikings finally managed to fall on it. They have no timeouts left. They will have time for 2 or 3 plays.
Ron Yeri was trying to do a Pele imitation.
Yeri stopped it with his foot. Don't forget 60 minutes right after football. Real live whodunit.
Guy has a poisoned umbrella in that. This is true, right? It's real?
Well, I don't know.
Bona fide?
Right out of the pages of James Bond, it says. Is that true? All takes place, that murder with a poisoned umbrella in broad daylight in the heart of London.
60 minutes.
Let's we leave here. Let's run and see if we can get a chance to watch that. 51-35. That's the final. Here's Chuck Foreman being tackled by Harvey Martin and Guy Brown, I believe. Block runs.
A lot of supercharged people on that Dallas roster, and the thinness or the depth of a team is going to really count down the stretch. Bud Grant's team by November, if it's not nicked too much, might still be in this divisional race.
Clock running and Kramer taking his time. This one is in the L column. There's Thomas.
He told me his name is now Tomas Henderson. Tomas.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
Why?
I don't know. He doesn't like Hollywood anymore.
36-20. Dallas defeats Minnesota. Their record is 5-1. And so from Metropolitan Stadium in Bloomington, Minnesota, this is Pat Summerall saying goodbye for Tom Brookshire. The NFL on CBS is a presentation of CBS Sports.
This is CBS.